Hey, what's going on, guys? And welcome back to Transfer Gossip. Today we are starting off with John Stones and with Koeman basically appointed by Everton for a $5 million free from Southampton. He has came out and said he wants to keep John Stones in the side, and he's also going to hold talks with Barkley as well. So both of those potentially could be staying at Everton. Next up is BAILLY, and it is on the title. He has a done deal to Manchester United for £30 million. Wow. That's a lot of money for a player that was signed last season by Villarreal for 4.3 million. So that's a 25.6 million profit turnover for Villarreal off one player. BAILLY does look like he could be a fantastic centre-back. I will hold my hands up to that. He stopped Liverpool in the first game from scoring a few times, and he looks like he could be the real deal. Obviously, Manchester United need a huge rebuild, and I think there'll be another few 30 million plus signings to get them back even close to the top four. Next up is Marquinhos, and this is just a transfer story saying he is going to hold talks with PSG, basically to stay. It looks like more than anything, not really to leave. It's more of whether he's going to get a new deal and stay at the club basically. Next up is Charlie Taylor from Leeds United. Now, I'm not going to lie, I've never heard of this guy. He's a left back apparently, and Liverpool are interested in him. As I think Liverpool and Stoke are the two teams interested in him, but Leeds came out today and said no club has approached them for him. It seems to be producing players at the minute, Leeds, just mainly because obviously their ownership is absolutely awful. So apparently Charlie Taylor hasn't been approached by Leeds or Stoke, but both parties are interested. Next up is Nemanja Matic, and he has came out and said apparently he has said he wants to come out and work under Mourinho again, which would see him move to Manchester United. Now, don't forget, Chelsea paid 20-odd million for Matic. It looks like it would be the same kind of cost to get him to Manchester United. Now, don't forget, Manchester United have Schneiderlin. So imagine Schneiderlin and Matic as two centre defensive mids. That would be hard to break down. Your right back and left back for Man U could just bomb forward then. Next up is Nampalius Mendy, if I could even say that would be great. Apparently he's going to Leicester. They're looking at a replacement for Kante. Obviously, he looks like either PSG or Chelsea, as we mentioned in the previous two episodes. And Mendy is apparently their replacement for about 8 million. It'll cost Leicester. Similar price they play for Kante anyway, so it could be a similar deal. Next up is Marez. Leicester are just getting dominated here. And Arsenal, again, are apparently after Marez this time. 25 million is the kind of deal that has been quoted. Whether Marez will be a player he wants to go or not, we don't know. Obviously, Vardy is still in the air, and apparently Leicester could be a selling club. You don't know. Ranieri did say all of them are going to stay, but that rarely happens. Next up is Sadio Mane. Now, apparently Liverpool are going to pay 30 million for his services. Koeman going, a lot of Southampton players could be up for grabs before they get a manager. I'm not being funny, but they do it every season. They seem to sell players. And to be honest, they still come back strong as well. It depends who they get as manager this time. Apparently, De Boer has been quoted as going there. So, Mane, though, 30 million. Hopefully, Liverpool can grab him before Southampton get a manager when they're weak. Next up is the top scorer in the Dutch league last season, and that is Vincent Jansen from AZ Alkmaar. Apparently, Tottenham want to sign him. Obviously, Tottenham do need a new striker. Kane can't play all the games all the time, especially after playing the Euros. So Jansen looks like he could be on the radar. £12 million has been quoted for a player who's top scorer in his league. I don't think is a bad fee at all. Next up is a super big deal, and that is why it is on the title as well. Two players on the title list today, and that is Aubemayang. Now, Manchester City are apparently going to be paying £58 million for his services, which personally I think is a bit of a steal. I think he could be worth a lot more than that. A player who bangs in as many goals as he does is pretty much priceless. But can you imagine the Manchester City front line of Aguero and Aubemayang? Oh my God. Manchester City could turn into a ridiculous team, as well as Gundogan behind them and all the rest of the players they've already got. Manchester City could be going crazy, as could Man U. Liverpool could start getting into the mix, depending on who they sign. And speaking of Liverpool, Gonzalo Higuain rumour is hotting up. Now, apparently I've seen a picture of Klopp watching the Argentina game, and he's been pictured with Higuain's brother. Now, for those who don't know, Higuain's brother is actually his agent as well. And then Klopp apparently got off after 75 minutes, which is coincidental because Higuain came off in the 74th minute. So from that point of view, it looks like Klopp is watching Higuain. Why Higuain would go from Napoli to Liverpool is beyond me. I'm a Liverpool fan, and I don't even think it's an option. At the end of the day, Napoli came second, had a great team in the Champions League. Why would you go to someone who isn't in Champions League? I don't know. Unless he wants to play in the Prem and gets a sack load of money to do it. But then other clubs would be interested, such as Arsenal. So I don't know what's going to happen with this one. Apparently, Klopp was just on holiday. Newspapers will come out and said today, and he was just, enjoying the game. But it's a bit too much of a coincidence for me that he's been pitched with his agent and also got off as soon as Higuain was done. So there's that one. Next up, we move to the bench of this team. That is Moussa Sissoko. He's came out and said Arsenal is a dream team to play for. He's pretty much begging for Arsenal to come in for him. I don't think he's worth it. I think he could have played a lot better last season. He didn't seem to try that much. I know he's playing in a bad team, but I think, he'd be lucky to escape Newcastle. Next up is Jordan Much. 2 Crystal Palace players who end up on the end. Apparently, they're both going to Championship clubs. And first is Jordan Much. Apparently, Crystal Palace would like to sell him to Norwich. I think it'd be a fantastic signing for Norwich, personally. I think Much is a very, very decent player. And then finally, Dwight Gayle, apparently a target for Aston Villa. They've recently been taken over, got Di Matteo as the manager in charge. So I think Dwight Gayle would be a good striker to go for. Pacey striker always seems to get teams promoted into the Premier League. You look at, for example, Andre Gray for Burnley, and the season before it, Wilson for Bournemouth. So Gayle could be a great signing for them. And then we're just going to jump into the team. So this is what the team could look like. Obviously, BAILLY is a completed deal. He's a 30 million transfer for Manchester United. Jansen is apparently getting talked to by Tottenham. Aubemayang is apparently in advanced stages with Manchester City, but I don't know on that one. And, a few on the bench, obviously, Sissoko and the 2 lads going to the Championship. Higuain as well in there. Mane for Liverpool, and a few Leicester ones in there as well. But it's mainly Manchester United, Man City, and Liverpool on this one. Guys, if you did enjoy it, as always, I do ask for a like and subscribe. It would help me out a lot. Just let me know if I'm going in the right direction. And I shall see you in the next one.